In this video, I'll be talking with a person who has cracked companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Flipkart, Goldman Sachs, and a whole lot more. He will be sharing his tips for people who are trying to get into these top tech companies. How can you present yourself in the interview? How can you prepare for DSA? His tips for how can you solve the problem, some important mistakes that he has seen other people make, and a whole lot more. The timestamps are in the description. Go check them out. This video is also sponsored by Coding Ninjas. We'll talk about that later. Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And here is the episode. Tell me about your journey. Like, how did you get started in your second, third, fourth year while you were in college? What were the internships like? Aapka experience kaisa raha? And how did you learn DSA and all?
Yeah, so when I was in my second year, I started doing competitive programming and also doing some sort of open source project. So I was always interested in open source, but I did not really try out open source until I went into my fourth year when I participated in GSOC. And then while I was in my second, third, and fourth years, I was constantly working on problems based on data structures and algorithms, because I sort of started having a lot of fun by doing this. I still have fun doing it. It's not just for a job, it's just something that I like to do in my free time.
So first, second and third year mein kya hua tha? Your internship experience and all?
So at the end of my second year, I completed my PS1. So this is, we have this thing called practice school, wherein our university arranges for internships at the end of the second year and then during the fourth year. So at the end of the second year, I interned at this place called Siri Pilani, wherein I did a research internship. And I worked on some researchy stuff based on GPUs and stuff. So that is that. And then after that, at the end of my second year, I got this opportunity to interview with a lot of companies, and all of these companies, like Microsoft. So I mainly interviewed with just two companies, Microsoft and Nutanix, because after I got into Microsoft and then I stopped interviewing. So at the end of my third year, I did my internship at Microsoft, and then in my fourth year, I did another 6-month-long internship at Microsoft Research Labs as a research intern. So that has been my internship journey in college.
Tell me about your experience interviewing for different companies. Aapne kaun si companies se interview kiya, and what was that experience like?
I think interviewing has given me some sort of a perspective of what different companies are looking for, and what are the qualities that a great software engineer should have. So mainly most of the companies are just looking for people who are smart and can solve any generic problem, in the sense that companies don't want to hire a specialist that, let's say, they don't want to hire a person who can repair a particular model of a refrigerator, for example. They want to hire a generalist who can just take a refrigerator, figure out on his own what are the problems with the refrigerator, no matter what the model is, and then come up with a solution, come up with a fix. So this is just an analogy, but in the real world, it's not that you should be comfortable with just a single programming language in a particular domain, but you should be they want to, most big tech companies at least want to hire such generalist people who can develop any sort of software in any language. Given that they are going to give you some time to ramp up, and after that you should be able to do that on your. That is why they ask problems on data structures and algorithm, because that's common and it's language independent. What language you use does not really matter.
This video is sponsored by Coding Ninjas. Coding Ninjas is one of India's biggest coding education companies, and they have taught over 50,000 students so far. They have well-structured courses that take you from the basics to advanced in topics like C++, Java, app development, web development, machine learning, data science, and a whole lot more. Right now, these topics are taught by expert faculty from IITs, Stanford, and a bunch of other top tech companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon, and a lot more. If you want to get a 15% discount on their courses, you can check out the link in the description. On top of that, they also have a great YouTube channel on which you can find some great tips and tricks that you can use to crack big tech companies. They have some great roadmaps for data structure algorithms, some great interviews with people who are already working at these top tech companies, and they share their experience working over there. So you can check out their YouTube channel as well. And now back to the video. What are the mistakes that you might have made, or you have seen that your batchmates made while they were interviewing at these companies?
Yeah, so what I have seen, this is one of the mistakes that I've personally made initially, was that in my first interview of my life, so I did not like speak out like what I was thinking and like what my thought process was. So like once the interviewer gave me a question, I did not articulate my thoughts well enough to the interviewer, so that he then had a doubt whether I knew what was happening, or like whether I knew whether like I'm able to like solve that problem or not. Basic idea is that given a question, you should be able to tell the interviewer like what you are thinking at any point of time, so that they understand that you understand the solution.
So tell me a little bit about how can tier 3 students crack interviews, some tips that they can use, and then we'll sort of learn how can they basically build their problem solving ability and get interviews and all.
Sure. So for the main problem with tier 3 students is like unfortunately they don't have like as easy access to the big tech companies as some like tier 1 or tier 2 college students do. So because of that, tier 3 students have to do exactly the same things that tier 1 college students have to do, except the fact that they also have to make sure to get interviews. Whereas for tier 1 students, the companies themselves like arrive at the university contact them, and it's easy to get an interview. So for tier 3 students, the first thing is networking. Maybe reach out to reach out to people who work at specific companies via LinkedIn, ask for referrals in case they know you, and just networking in general. That's going to help you to land the interview. So once you have landed the interview, the next step would be to actually crack the interview. And for that, I would suggest that you first need to be familiar with data structures and algorithm. And once you're familiar with data structures and algorithms, the next step would be upsolving. So by upsolving, I mean you pick up a random problem on any competitive coding website or even LeetCode, and then try to solve them. If you are able to solve that problem, that's great. If you're not able to solve it, just look at the editorial or the solution, and then learn from that editorial. The more number of such problems that you solve, the better it is, because like it's not possible to learn everything just by doing a course on data structures and algorithms. There are a lot of problems,
right,
and you can only learn how to solve such problems by real world experience, and upsolving is going to give that to you.
So do you suggest people to do more problems or do less problems but do high quality problems?
I would suggest that do different types of problems. So for example, if you are very familiar with a particular algorithm and you are basically able to like solve even hard level problems easily, in that case it does not make much sense to like keep on solving the same type of problems, because you are not learning anything new. So your goal should be to learn something new from each problem. So at the end of your at the end of solving a particular problem, ask yourself what new thing did I learn by solving this problem. If you learned something new, then your time was utilized well. If you did not learn anything new, your time was like not utilized as well.
Now let's talk about how many companies did you interview for? Like what were the successful interviews that you've had?
So far, like most of the companies that I interviewed with, like all of them ended up giving me an offer, except a few. Like for example, I interviewed with with Microsoft IDC, which is the software engineering wing of Microsoft, then Microsoft Research, Arcesium, Flipkart, Goldman Sachs, Google, Amazon, and like also Nutanix. So like Nutanix is the only company that I did not get an offer from, but other than that, I got an offer from like every other company that I just mentioned.
Let's talk about your life at tech companies. Like you have worked at Microsoft and Amazon and all. So tell me a little bit about what is life like at these companies. That's what people want to pursue. That's what their goal is, to like work at these companies.
Yeah,
so how does it feel?
Life in general is pretty good at most of these tech companies. You should, if you are able to get into one of the tech companies that I mentioned, like please consider yourself really, really fortunate for being in this position, because like obviously you will be working on problems that require such high scale, and you will be solving real world problems, and like whatever code you write, that will be used by like millions of people, hopefully, like and then so like that's an opportunity in itself. But other than that self, if I like talk about like some of the perks, then in that case, at companies like Microsoft, for example, like you will be offered, you will be given like free food, free drinks, free snacks, and obviously you'll get other cool perks. Like for example, when I was an intern at Microsoft, so I was given like 2 months of hotel stay at a 4-star kind of a hotel. So that was a great experience. And other than that, like these companies like pick you up from your home and then drop you to the office, and then also like pick you up from the office and drop you at home. Like all of these perks are free for all the employees. So like life is pretty comfortable when you work at one of these companies. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you to work at like one of these. It's a really good experience, to be honest.
What is the work-life balance like at these companies? Like when you're working over there, how much time do you devote to working, and how hard could life be at these companies? Like, as you previously mentioned, you get the perks, but then when you actually get to working, how much work do you actually have to do depending on the situation and all?
Right. So I would say your work-life balance depends and varies from day to day. So like at most of these tech companies, all these companies care about is that you should be able to do your work in a timely manner. It does not matter like how many hours you spend like working on something. So like especially in the work from home era, these companies are like very flexible. So like if you want to, like you can wake up late in the afternoon and then work all the way till the night. Or like I have seen some people while I was at Microsoft that people used to sleep during the day like up to 8 p.m. and that they get back to the office around 8 p.m. in the night, and then they start working and like stay up at the office. So as you can see that like these companies are really flexible about your working hours. Although I would not recommend you that you like stay up that late, but sure, like you get a lot of flexibility, and as long as you like do your work on time and put in the effort, and like as long as the results that you get for the companies is like good enough, I don't think there is an issue. So typically you can expect employees to work 8 hours a day, and like if you are more efficient, you could even like get away with working less hours.
What is the career growth for a software engineer at these companies? Let's say for example Amazon or Microsoft that you've worked over there at.
Yeah, so at Amazon, Microsoft, for example, like when you join, you will be joining as a software development engineer 1, which is like the new grad level position. So after about 2 to 3 years, like you will be promoted to software engineer 2, and then after like maybe 3 or 4 years, you will be promoted to software engineer 3. And like beyond that, people like can either stay in the software engineering ladder, which means like they keep on becoming like from senior software engineer, which is equivalent to SD3. You can move on to SD4, which is like equivalent to a principal software engineer, and like you can keep on going on that ladder. Or the other route is you take up the managerial path. So after a senior software engineer, or even after a principal software engineer, you could go on to become a principal or a senior software development manager. So there you will be like managing software engineers like in your team, like making sure that like all the software engineers are happy. Your job would be to like unblock software engineers in case they get into any issues, maybe help other software engineers collaborate with external teams, and like even different product groups. So all of that would be a part of like what you would be doing once you become senior enough. But for SD1s and SD2s, you should like mainly focus on like writing your own code and like helping out other team members, making sure that your team as a whole is contributing a lot of value to the company.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for joining me here for this session. What would be your one last message to people who are trying to get into these top tech companies? Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 doesn't matter.
My one last message would be that like oftentimes students will get demotivated while trying to get into top tech companies, because it's not very easy to get into top tech companies, because like everybody under the sun is just working hard to try to be their best and portray their best to these companies. So there's a lot of competition involved, but let's just say that only the people who are persistent and who are going to keep on like working hard at their skills, sharpening their skills, improving their data structures and algorithms skills, improving the system design skills, and so on, it will be the one who is going to prosper. So yeah, that would be my message, that don't get demotivated and like just keep on working out. Sooner or later you will get success.
That is pretty much it. I hope you got to learn something from this video. You can also check out Viral Mehta's own YouTube channel, in which he will be talking about his experiences working at these companies. So you can check that out. Link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, hit the like button. Let me know if you have any more questions about what we have discussed. Thank you so much for the epic growth on this channel. I just want to thank every one of you. We are soon going to hit 1 lakh subscribers, and I am so grateful for the love and support that I've received. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.